Hey folks, today I'm going to show you how to change the oil filter and oil in the 2018 F350 Superduty 6.7 liter diesel. This is the same procedure for the 2011 model all the way up through the 2019 model, and it may be the same procedure for the 2020 plus model. Alright, so some of the supplies you're going to need. You're going to need 13 quarts of oil. Everybody has their favorite oil. I run Shell Rotella T6 5W40. This is synthetic because I do tow and I do have extended idle time in the winter. You're going to need an oil filter, so you can see the model, part number there, FL2051S. Sometimes you can find these at Walmart. You can definitely get it from your Ford dealer, or you can look online as well and find a good price on oil filter. 16 millimeter wrench for the drain plug. Oil filter wrench you may or may not need depending on if you did the last oil change and how hard you tighten the filter on. I like to use some gloves. I send my oil out for analysis. Just the engineer in me, I like to know what's cooking with the oil and the motor, and so gives me some data, tells me if my oil change interval is acceptable, if I've got good filtration of both the oil and the air. So I've not had any problems running the recommended oil change intervals. So when the oil minder light comes on, which is approximately 9,500 miles, I change the oil. Going to need a funnel. You're going to need a drain pan, probably a 5-gallon bucket is more suitable. I use the drain pan more for underneath the oil filter, and then a creeper. Let the engine warm up a little bit. That way got the oil thinned out as much as it can be, so you get a good drain on it. Alright, so 13 quarts of oil, oil filter, filter wrench, your wrench, some gloves, way of capturing oil, and a way of getting under the truck. Alright, so this is my second Super Duty with the 6.7 liter in it. My first was a 2012 model. Really enjoyed that truck, put 100,000 miles on it, and it was very reliable. So I like to do my own maintenance as much as possible, so changing oil is one of those things that you know, call me crazy. I like to make sure everything's looking good. The oil fill on this model, the 2018, is right there, located on the driver's side, right next to the coolant bottle. And then you have your dipstick here, which fairly long. I like to check the transmission fluid while I'm at it. Do a good once over. Make sure everything looks good. As you can see, I like to keep it clean. The truck's a little bit dirty because I just got back from a 1,800 mile trip, but keeping things, you know, spick and span where you can. Cleaning the engine off once in a while. That way you can see if there's anything going on, if there's a leak or whatnot. Alright, on the passenger side you can see the filter, and you can also see the drain plug. So I like to put my oil pan, capture the oil from the oil filter under that, and then I tend to use a 5-gallon bucket. So when you crack that open, you're going to get 13 quarts of oil coming out. Just want to be careful so you don't make a big mess. But I've got 47,000 miles on this truck. I do use fluid film on it. I live in the snow belt of Pennsylvania. Everything, I like to just take a look, make sure I don't see anything dripping, make sure I don't see any big rust. You can see everything looks really nice under here. A little dirty. Probably get under here and power wash it. Alright, while you're under the truck, depending on when the last time is that you've checked the fuel filter, on the driver's side, right at the back of the cab, in front of the fuel tank, you'll see the fuel filter. The yellow knob there, you can twist that and drain out some fuel to check for any water in the fuel. Okay, so I got my bucket under here. I'm going to take and I think I can loosen up the oil filter. Yeah, I don't need my oil filter wrench on that. So you could use a bag and wrap the filter. That would be another option, but I am going to do it this way. Now I'm going to take and get this ready. Alright. Need a rag. I like to let some oil flow for a while before I take the sample. Alright, so we want to let everything drain real well. We'll pull the filter. We'll put the plug back in and put the new filter on. Alright, so you can see the oil filter is in place and the drain plug is in place. We're ready to fill it up. Alright, so now we're going to add 13 quarts of oil. So I mentioned I like to do oil analysis, and it gives you some data points about what's going on inside the engine. You get different metal readouts, also some information on silica, which gives you a measure of how well your air filtration is doing. And it gives you some data points about fuel dilution, so if you have fuel in the oil, which can occur, especially during regeneration cycles. So with over 45,000 miles on this truck, my oil analysis they've all come back clean, indicating normal wear metals as time has progressed, nothing that is excessive. The comments are that the motor looks to be doing very, very good. Sometimes people say oil color is an indication of oil quality. As you saw, the oil in this tube right here, this little jar, is black. It is black after 50 miles of running this engine. Now, maybe there are people out there that experience amber colored oil going in and amber oil coming out after thousands and thousands of miles of use. This engine is not one of those that makes that happen. But it doesn't mean the oil is bad. In fact, with 10,000 miles approximately on the oil, 9 to 10,000 miles, when I get my oil analysis back, it indicates frequently that I could go further. The lubricity package is still holding up, and the other elements of the oil are in good enough shape that I could run extended oil levels, oil interchange levels, so oil change levels. So, sorry about that. You could run longer based on oil analysis, and some people do. And some people say, well, for the cost of oil, why don't you just change it more frequently, blah, blah, blah. I mean, everybody gets to do what they want with their motor. I listen to what the oil minder says for oil change intervals. I send it out for tests just to make sure nothing's going on. I don't have fuel dilution problems. I don't have lubricity problems. I don't have wear problems inside the motor. So I feel confident in what I'm doing. The color black of the oil doesn't indicate that there's a problem. It doesn't indicate that the oil is dirty, that it's not capable of lubricating the engine, or that it has carried enough wear metals that it's going to cause a problem. So just something to keep in mind. Now, I do own a little 2002 Tacoma with a 3.4 liter V6 in it, and after a couple thousand miles after that oil change, when I pull the dipstick on it, it looks like the oil as it went in, amber colored. So, possibly the emission strategy on a diesel vehicle, the fact that diesels do run dirtier. That might indicate the reason for, you know, seeing the oil come out the color it is. But color is not a good indicator of quality. Alright, so now you've seen the procedure for changing the oil and oil filter on a 2018 Super Duty F350 with the 6.7 liter Power Stroke V8 engine. As I said, I do like to drain a little bit of diesel fuel out of the diesel filter just to check and see, make sure I don't see anything wonky with that. There's a procedure in the manual for doing that. I change the fuel filter every 15,000 miles or so. I think they call for 20 or so thousand miles in the manual. I've never seen a problem when I've changed the filter, so I'm going to go another 5,000 miles before I change that filter. You'll also notice that I like to take a look under the hood while I'm in there, make sure all the fluids look good from the standpoint of, you know, antifreeze, make sure that you don't see any leaks, wiping down any messes you create, you know, dribble a little bit, just keeping the engine bay clean, so if there is a problem, you can work on it, you don't get filthy, and you also can identify where leaks are coming from in the event you ever see a problem. So hopefully this helps you out. Appreciate you watching my channel. Hopefully you can check it out, hit like, and also check out some of my other videos. Thanks for watching today.